स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In today's gospel class, I have chosen the subject, Sri Ramakrishna reveals himself. Many people do spiritual practices in order to realize God. And only through intense discipline and spiritual life one would be able to realize the truth. It is not very easy to have a free access to God, even though God is residing in our own heart. So here comes the need of the incarnation. The Divine Supreme takes the human form and makes himself available easily to the spiritual aspirants. So the Divine Supreme is supremely accessible, easily accessible through incarnation. And here we have such incarnation, Sri Ramakrishna. He came in the human form. He did practice spiritual disciplines. He was well established in renunciation and all the noble virtues needed to become divine. He did all these things in order to show us an ideal in the spiritual life. So we find all spiritual aspirants would get specific instructions from Sri Ramakrishna in their spiritual paths. Everyone would feel satisfied and encouraged to go in one's own path. That's the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. He encouraged everyone to follow their own individual spiritual path. It's perfectly all right. There is no conflict at all. All the paths lead to same God. And Sri Ramakrishna himself proved that through his own experiment. He did practice all religions and arrived at the truth. As many faiths, so many paths. So, everybody would feel inspired to come to Sri Ramakrishna and be with him, learn from him, practice spirituality and get their life blessed. So Sri Ramakrishna spent his whole life in teaching the spiritual aspirants about the spiritual ways. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is full of these instructions. Varieties of instructions are there. So, if you have to attain immortality, you have to study Gospel Sri Ramakrishna in depth and follow it up in daily life. To the last day of his life, Sri Ramakrishna gave everything what he had to the people, to the aspirants. Finally, Sri Ramakrishna revealed himself. Sri Ramakrishna knew that he would be casting off his mortal frame, and let this moment also be used up by the aspirants. Let me give out everything. So, Sri Ramakrishna revealed himself, and that is on the 1st January, which we call Kalpataru Day, because Sri Ramakrishna on that day fulfilled all the desires of the devotees. Whatever they want, Sri Ramakrishna granted them. So January of every year is considered most auspicious day from spiritual point of view. It was a time when Sri Ramakrishna's intense physical suffering due to cancer threatened the faith of some of the devotees and the divinity of their teacher. They think, why should he get disease at all? It is like telling why the doctor gets disease. Doctor's body is also a physical body, like anybody's. But then people began to think about why Sri Ramakrishna had to suffer like anybody. Yet Sri Ramakrishna always remained the same child of Divine Mother and lived in a state of bliss. Despite the dreaded disease, his serenity, God consciousness, and above all, his passion to lead mankind to God never ceased even for a moment. A devotee who came to see the ailing master saw him shedding tears and lamenting. Ah me! Nityananda went from door to door, walking on foot, and gave divine love. Alas, I can't move out except in a carriage. Another day Sri Ramakrishna said, well, I shall go on doing good to others even when I am on barley water. To the devotees who were feeling pain at his own terrible suffering, Sri Ramakrishna spoke in consoling words. My Divine Mother has brought this illness upon this body to convince the skeptics of the present age that Atman is divine, that God consciousness is as true and practical as it was in the Vedic period, that when one reaches perfection, freedom from bondage is attained. All my religious practices yoga practices, devotional exercises have been for the good of others and not for my own good. My mother has set through this form a living example in this age. Yet despair crept into the hearts of many. The devotees, they brought Sri Ramakrishna into a garden house which had a spacious garden for better treatment and quicker recovery. Best doctors were contacted. They would attend on him almost every day. An unspoken gloom lurked in their minds. Only a few, like Narendranath, Vivekananda, and Girish, dared to see the presence of the incarnation of God of this age in the decaying body of Sri Ramakrishna. Their burning faith and devotion kept the drooping spirit of others high. Amid this gloom, Sri Ramakrishna brought the blessed moment of theophany, the revelation of the power of the incarnation of God, transcending far above the physical sufferings of the apparent man. Sri Ramakrishna stood before his devotees like a divine being capable of giving them everything and even lifting them up to sunlit heights of unexpected illuminations. That great moment, January 1st, 1886, it came. Only 2 weeks ago, Sri Ramakrishna had been brought to the Gospel Garden. So long bedridden, the Master felt for the first time a desire to take a walk below in the garden. It was 3 p.m. He was dressed in a red border cloth, a shirt, a wrapper also with a red border, a cap covering the ears, and a pair of slippers. He got down from the Gospel Garden. I have seen that Gospel Garden house in Calcutta, upstairs. So Sri Ramakrishna came down the staircase along with Latu, Adbhutanandaji. Vivekananda and others were sleeping as they kept vigil previous night. The lay devotees who could not come very often to the Master due to their domestic preoccupations, they were all present in a large number as it was a holiday on account of New Year's Day. So, large number of devotees had come. As the Master came down unexpectedly into the garden, the lay devotees came forward in joy to greet and accompany him. Adbhutanandaji returned to clean and rearrange the bedding of the Master. There was a freshness and joy in the minds of all at this recovery of the Master. It was Girish, the symbol of faith, who precipitated the historic moment. Girish was talking with other devotees like Ram under a mango tree. For the last few months, despite Sri Ramakrishna's illness, Girish was openly declaring to others that the Master was the latest incarnation of God on earth. Sri Ramakrishna came along the way to where Girish and others sat and asked Girish, Girish, what you have seen in me which makes you say so many things publicly in glorification of me before one and all? With all his devotion and faith, Girish at once stood up, came near the Master and fell at his feet. Then with folded hands and a voice choked with emotion, he said, "What more can I say about him? Even a fraction of whose Vyasa and Valmiki miserably failed to express in their immortal epics and Puranas." With these words of fervent faith, visible change came in Sri Ramakrishna. In front of the devotees, Sri Ramakrishna now stood radiant, and through Girish addressed the gathering of these lay devotees. Then Sri Ramakrishna began to act in a positive way. "What more shall I say to you? Be illumined." As he spoke these words, he went into samadhi. The words uttered out of a deep compassion immediately brought a divine awakening in all present. At once all of them fell at the Master's feet, took the holy dust of his feet, and rent the skies shouting victory to Ramakrishna. Out of a mood of divine grace, Sri Ramakrishna now began to bless the devotees, one after the other, with his divine touch. This brought an instant transfiguration in them. Some of them looked at him spellbound. Some of them saw a light or effulgence. Some felt the onrush of a spiritual power in them. Some of them, unable to bear the overflowing joy, began to move restlessly and call loudly to all within the house to come and get the divine touch. Still some others collected flowers and worshipped the Master with them, uttering various mantras. Sharat and Latu, that is Shardanji and Adbhutanji, heard the calls and saw the whole scene from above. But they continued their task of love, thus renouncing their share of joy. The moment of theophany overwhelmed them. Sharat wrote later of those blessed moments. They forgot time and space, forgot the disease of the Master, forgot their previous determination not to touch him till he recovered, and were aware only that an extraordinary divine being, out of sympathy for them in their plight, feeling excruciating pain at their misery, and overflowing with compassion for them, had come down from heaven and called them affectionately to him for giving protection, like a mother sheltering her children against all ills by covering them lovingly with the upper part of her sari. These are the words of Shardanji, the great Master. The much awaited moment of theophany arrived. God once again revealed himself through the human body of Sri Ramakrishna. The divine feast was suddenly thrown open to the hungry seekers of divinity, and now they come running. Vaikuntanath Sanyal, who was so long pressing Sri Ramakrishna for the divine grace, was blessed with this divine touch. But as a result of it, Vaikuntha Sanyal wrote, a great revolution took place in my mind. I saw the figure of the Master light up with a gracious smile in sky, in the houses, trees, plants, men, and in whatever else I looked at. Beside himself with an unspeakable joy, he cried to Sharat and Latu on the roof, "Oh, you all, wherever you be, come without delay." The vision of his beloved Master in everything continued for some days even throughout his waking state, until Vaikuntanath Sanyal found it unbearable and maddening. Frightened, he returned after some days to the Master with the prayer, "O Lord, I am not able to contain this mental state. Please ordain that it may come to an end." In fact, the same scene we find in Bhagavad Gita also. When Arjuna had the Vishwarupa darshan of Lord Krishna, finally he was praying to Shri Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please show your usual form. Enough, like that he was telling. The uninterrupted continuity of visions came to an end, although he felt blessed and amazed at the sudden appearance of this vision a few times daily. Later Sanyal used to regret, "Woe be to human weakness and stupidity. Why did I pray so? Why did I not keep my faith firm in him?" Ramchandra Datta, blessed with the divine touch on that day, he wrote, "We saw that our Master had turned into the Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. We became intoxicated with joy. Whomever we found in front of us, we brought to the Master and he blessed them. We realized that such a rare moment may not come in our life. Frantically, we ran hither and thither in search of anyone and everyone to be blessed, until there was none left out. With the loud chantings in the name of Ramakrishna, the sky began to resonate. The devotees began to make a shower of flowers. A sea of divine bliss welled up. Ramchandra went out running and told Navgopal Ghosh, "Well, what are you doing, sir? The Master has turned into Kalpataru today. Go there. Hurry up, please. Hurry. If you have desire for something, ask for it right now." Excited, Ghosh ran towards the Master, fell at his feet and said, "What will happen to me, sir?" The Master asked him if he could do a little spiritual practice or even a little japam on the beads a number of times daily. Ghosh surrendered and said that he could do neither because of the heavy load of his worldly duties. The Master then asked, "Well, can you take my name a little?" Sri Ramakrishna was telling him, "That I can do, no doubt," he replied. Pleased, Sri Ramakrishna blessed him with the words, "That will be enough. You will not have to do anything further." See, Sri Ramakrishna's name is such powerful. That will be enough. You will not have to do anything further. Ramlal, Sri Ramakrishna's nephew, was struggling to have the full vision of his chosen deity in meditation, but so long he could not succeed. He too now came running. The Master removed the wrapper from his body and slowly passed his hands on his chest, saying, he passed his hands on his chest, saying, "Now have a good luck." At once an illumination overwhelmed him. Ramlal said, "Ah, what a beauty! What a splendor of light! How can I tell them?" Later on he confided, "But no sooner had the Master touched me that day than the form of my chosen ideal appeared suddenly from head to foot in the lotus of my heart and moved and looked benign and effulgent. Girish virtually dragged the cook, Ganguli, from the kitchen and placed him at the feet of the Master. Sri Ramakrishna bestowed his grace on him. Harmon Mitra, another devotee, was similarly brought before him, and the Master touched him, saying, "Today let it be." One of the most blessed was Haranchandra Das, for as soon as he bowed down at the Master's feet, the Master placed his lotus feet on Haran's head. It's only on a few occasions that the Master used to bestow his grace in this way, putting his feet on the head of a person. Haran used to celebrate an annual festival in memory of the grace of the Master bestowed on him on this occasion. As Sri Ramakrishna was now returning to his room, Akshay Kumar Sen came running. The Master placed his right hand on his chest, saying, "Be awakened," and uttered a holy mantra into Akshay's ear. A powerful divine force welled up within him. He felt blessed, but could hardly stand the great upsurge of the spiritual emotion, which violently began to convulse his body and turned him virtually into a heap of twisted limbs. He experienced a profound bliss and shed profuse tears of joy. Atul Krishna Ghosh and Kishori Roy, they came. The Master blessed them. Bhai Bhupati came and prayed, and he prayed for Samadhi. The Master was all grace that day and said, "You will have Samadhi." Another devotee, Upendranath Mukhopadhyaya, he came and prayed for material prosperity. Sri Ramakrishna said, "You will have wealth, you will have." He did have wealth, but never forgot the Master, the giver of his prosperity. Sri Ramakrishna's prediction that "I will cast my whole secret to the winds" came finally true. Some of the devotees, while returning home after this theophany, wondered, how is it possible the Master's frail frame, his ailing body, could contain the self of a God-man with such wondrous powers? But there are others who realized that this is how God descends through human form, out of sheer compassion for men suffering in worldly bondages, and then gives them, just out of love, the blessings of divine grace and freedom from fear. Master Mahashya wrote later, "The Master stood like one of those fruit sellers who bring their fruits to the marketplace, bargain at first about the prices, but then toward the sunset, when the market is about to close, give away the fruits indiscriminately." Sometime after this incident, the Master one day asked Ram, "Tell me why, although you speak all these of me as incarnation of God, etc., there is this cancer in the throat. Why is there this emaciated body? How much of beauty, knowledge, and miraculous power Sri Gauranga had, and I have none. And why I had to leave Dakshineshwar?" Deeply moved at these words of the Master, Ram answered, "Yes, Lord, from my childhood I have heard about the physical beauty and the divine powers of Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Gauranga, and Christ. I also heard you are just a saint. But today I realize that you have occupied this seat in my heart which was meant for the Almighty. How much have I tried to remove you from that blessed seat and install God there? But all the worldly intelligence, knowledge, and decisions of men have failed to dislodge you from that blessed spot. Therefore, what else can I do? I am compelled to call you as God." On another occasion, Ram spoke to the Master with the same devotion. "Lord, do we not see openly how men without devotion, prayers, austerities, even the downright scoundrels, are changing into divine beings? Shall we mistake you even after seeing these incidents? From the day you have come out of Dakshineshwar, common people have been blessed. In the form of a diseased man, thou hast blessed thousands by allowing them to have your darshan." Sri Ramakrishna asked none of the fortunate souls to worship this God, read that book, or visit this place of pilgrimage or that. He brought to them at once what one achieves through births of austerities, the final awakening of the divine consciousness. The blessed day of the 1st January, has since then been immortalized in the minds of these devotees. It was as his monastic disciples, Shardananda, said, the day of self-revelation of the Master, or the bestowal of freedom from fear on all devotees by revealing himself. The incarnation power in Sri Ramakrishna could not be hidden anymore. The pot of nectar was broken in the marketplace of life. The king of the divine world, who according to the Master's own simile was so long moving incognito in the guise of a beggar, was finally discovered at the very middle of the road. And the poor beggars of grace came rushing to fill their bowls. Now the king was all compassion. He gave out of God's plenty, overbrimming their little vessels and inundating them with the divine flood. He was the power, he was the slope, he was the current, and other streams and currents ran towards this river. He was the Ganga itself, wrote Romarola. Like the all-purifying Ganga, Sri Ramakrishna on this day of Theophany made no distinction between the fit and the unfit, between the saint and the sinner. Even the last sheep of the fold, the so-called worthless, got the Master's encouragement and love, which was destined to change the very course of their lives thereby. As Vivekananda said, Sri Ramakrishna used to handle human minds like the lumps of clay, breaking, molding and remolding them at ease and filling them with new ideas by mere touch. For these blessed souls, the center of life was shifted forever from the mire of the world to the divinity within. When man's divine awareness or hush is awakened, then only he can be called manhush or man. Manushya we say, manush. That word is explained here. Sri Ramakrishna used to say. Some of the devotees like Ramchandra prefer to call this day as the Kalpataru day, the day on which their master Sri Ramakrishna turned into a Kalpataru, the mythical, wish-fulfilling tree, granting all boons to the devotees. Once Sri Ramakrishna said to Pandit Shashadhar, pray to God, he is full of compassion. Will he not listen to the words of the devotees? He is the Kalpataru. You will get whatever you desire from him. The doubting Pandit asked again, Master, does God listen to our prayers? The Master replied, God is the Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. You will certainly get whatever you ask of him, but you must pray standing near him. Only then will your prayer be fulfilled. So, you must pray standing near him. That's very important. You have to approach God with all humility, love and devotion, and offer your prayers. They will be answered. They will be fulfilled. So Sri Ramakrishna has given the assurance, and through this incident on the Kalpataru day, which falls tomorrow, 1st January, Sri Ramakrishna revealed himself. He was none other than the Supreme Godhead. So, whoever has taken his name, he will get everything in spiritual. Whatever he wants, that will be given. And God gives that. Because this incarnation is like that. Incarnation of love and compassion. He is full of love and compassion for the spiritual aspirants. So if you just think of him, repeat his name, meditate on him, you will get everything that you need. So let us observe this Kalpataru day tomorrow with great enthusiasm and boost our spiritual disciplines, practices, and do them vigorously so that we would have the vision of God in this very life. Page 798. Master said, the Brahmani of Kamarhati, that is Gopalma, sees many visions. She lives all by herself in a lonely room in a garden on the bank of the Ganges. She spends her time in japa. Gopala sleeps with her. The master gives a start. It is not imagination, but fact. She saw that Gopala's palms were red. He walks with her. She suckles him at her breast. They talk to each other. When Narendra heard this story, he wept. Formerly, I too used to see many visions, but now in my ecstatic state, I don't see so many. I am gradually getting over my feminine nature. I feel nowadays more like a man. Therefore, I control my emotion. I don't manifest it outwardly so much. The younger Naren has the nature of a man. Therefore, in meditation, his mind completely merges in the ideal. He does not show emotion. Nitya Gopal has a feminine nature. Therefore, while he is in a spiritual mood, his body becomes distorted and twisted. It becomes flushed. To him, Sri Ramakrishna said, well, people renounce grain by grain. But what a mood these youngsters are in. Vinod said, I have to sleep with my wife. That makes me feel very bad. It is bad for an aspirant to sleep with his wife, whether he has intercourse with her or not. There is a friction of the body and also the physical warmth. What a state Dvija is passing through. In my presence, he only sways his body and fixes his glance on me. Is that a trifling thing? If a man gathers his whole mind and fixes it on me, then indeed he achieves everything. But what am I? It is all he. I am the machine and he is its operator. It is God alone who exists in this, meaning his body. That's why so many people are feeling more and more attracted to it. A mere touch is enough to awaken their spirituality. This attraction, this pull is the attraction of God and of none else. Tarak of Bulgaria was going home from Dakshineshwar. I clearly noticed that a flame-like thing came out of his, meaning his body, and followed him. A few days later, Tarak came back to Dakshineshwar. In a state of samadhi, he who dwells in this body placed his foot on Tarak's chest. Well, are there more youngsters like these? Yam said, Mohit is very nice. He came to you once or twice. He is studying enough books to pass 2 university examinations. He has great longing for God. Sri Ramakrishna said, that may be, but he doesn't belong to a high plane. His physical traits are not so good. He has a puggish face. But these other youngsters belong to a high plane. Many troubles and worries follow in the wake of a birth of a many troubles and worries follow in the wake of a birth in a physical body. Further, if a person is cursed, he may have to be born 7 times. One must be very careful. One has to assume a human body if one cherishes the slightest desire. A devotee asked, what are the desires of those who are incarnations of God? Master said smilingly, I find that I have not got rid of all my desires. Once I saw a holy man with a shawl, and I too wanted to put on like it. Even now I have that desire. I don't know whether I shall have to be born again for it. Balram smilingly, then will you be born again just for a shawl? Allah. Master said smilingly, one has to keep a good desire so that one may give up the body meditating on it. There are 4 holy places for the sadhus to visit. They visit 3 and leave out 1. Many of them leave out Puri, the place of Jagannath, so that they can give up their bodies meditating on Jagannath. A man dressed in ochre robe entered the room and greeted the master. Privately, he was in the habit of criticizing Sri Ramakrishna. So at the sight of him, Balaram laughed. Sri Ramakrishna could read a man's mind. He said to Balaram, "Never mind, let him say I am a cheat." Sri Ramakrishna was talking to Tej Chandra. Master said, "I send for you so often. Why don't you come? If you practice meditation and prayer, it will make me happy. I look on you as my own, that's why I sent for you." Tej Chandra answered, "Sir, I have to go to the office. I am very busy with my duties." Yam said smilingly, "There was a marriage ceremony at his home and he got leave from his office for 10 days. Master said, well, you say you have no leisure. He told me just now that you are going to renounce the world." Narayan. He said, "Yam said to us one day that this world is a wilderness. Yam said to us one day that this world is a wilderness." Master said to Yam, "Please tell them that story of the disciple who became unconscious after taking the medicine. His teacher arrived at the house and said he would revive if someone else swallowed a pill that he would prescribe. The disciple would get back his life, but the man who swallowed the pill would die. Please tell the other one, too, of the Hatha Yogi, who thought that his wife and children were his very own and who feigned death with his limbs stretched out. It will do them good to hear those stories." It was noon. Sri Ramakrishna partook of the food that had been offered to the family deity Jagannath. The master often used to say that the food at Balaram's house was very pure. Afterwards he rested a while. Later in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna sat with the devotees in the drawing room of Balaram's house. Chandrababu of the Kartaba sect and a witty Brahmin were there. The Brahmin was something of a buffoon. His words made everybody laugh. About 6 o'clock, Giri's brother Atul and Tejchandra's brother arrived. Sri Ramakrishna was in Samadhi. A few minutes later he said, still in the ecstatic mood, "Can one become unconscious by meditating on consciousness? Can one lose one's mind by thinking of God? God is of the very nature of knowledge. He is of the very nature of eternity, purity and consciousness." We shall stop here. Anything to ask? Rameshwara, Kashi. Kashi, Rameshwara, Jagannath, Badrinath. Or you can say Kedar Badri. Kedar is Lord Shiva. Kedar Badri, very famous pilgrimage. Kedar Badri, Rameshwara, Puri Jagannath. That's why it is prescribed that a person who takes spiritual path intensely, he cooks himself. There is a contamination. Suppose even if not only cooking, even if you sit by the side of a person, that man's samskars will interfere with you in some way or other. It is true. They all act upon, they all act and interact. It is true. That's why we pray to Sri Ramakrishna and then we take food. That's the way. Who is perfect? Everybody will have some kind of errors will be there. Nobody is perfect. But Sri Ramakrishna himself, during his sadhana period, he himself would cook food for his eating. He would not even take prasadam from the Kali temple. And Ramanujacharya says, great Ramanujacharya, he tells very clearly that one should not sit in a company who is not devoted to God, and if he sits by his side, it will affect his mind to a little extent. So that's all for advanced spiritual progress. That's why they say solitary place. That's why they say like that. Go to solitary place and live all by yourself. But you must have some strength of mind to do that. All by yourself. Whole day devoting yourself. They do in Haridwar. Kutiras are made. Kutiras. Cottages are there. Where sadhus they live all by themselves. We always tell the people to come and participate in the spiritual activities more and more, vigorously, not superficially. Must come vigorously. That means you must feel part and parcel of the spiritual activities. You must feel oneness in the spiritual ideal. You must associate wholeheartedly. Then everything will work out very well. Yeah. Somebody was telling the other day, somebody came and I asked, were you initiated? He said, yes, we were initiated by, and he told the name, etc. Then immediately said that, and I was initiated when I was a young girl. But then he also said about, he said, you don't have to worry about restrictions, some restrictions, etc. And about food and things like that. Then I said to that lady smilingly, yes, it's all concession given to you. How much concession you want? How many more concessions you want? The more concessions you will have, the more diluted your spiritual practice will be. That's all. What else can be done? Because you can't do that, we give some concession. All right. Can I do like this? Is it okay? Yeah, you okay. Whatever you say, I should say okay. Then you are a good teacher. Anyway, it is like that only. One has to struggle. Through struggling only one should realize truth. All right, we'll stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Our name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. How I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.